April 13th. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and can we have roll call, please?
Roll call, Dan Cassett. Present. Bob Zurich. Bob Kleppel. Present. Kevin Creedy.
Here.
Jeff Packey. Dwayne Reed. Tessie Steffens.
Here.
Sparky Stuckenschneider. Debbie Todebush. Dave Waymeyer. Betty Werner.
Here.
Gavin Woolley.
Here.
Darren Lamb.
Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone in your packet has minutes from March 9th and March 28th special meeting. I need to have an approval of the minutes.
I make a motion, we approve.
I have a motion by Gavin
I'll second.
and a second by Danny. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Can we have a director's report, please?
Well, we had a very nice ribbon cutting event at Phoenix Park last night. I don't know how many, you think there was about 60 people there maybe?
Yeah, there were a lot.
Really?
It was a good one.
So it was good. Looked like everyone had fun. I caught some kids misusing the playground already while I was standing there. They were climbing on the tube slide, that small tube slide that's closest to the tennis courts there.
Yeah.
I was talking to the playground rep. It happened right in front of us. All of a sudden, she goes, "Uh-oh," and I was like, because I had my back to him. I was like, "What?" And I turned around. I was like, "Guys, you can't use the slide like that." There's two girls climbing across the top of the tube, and then there was a kid. The tree thing.
Yeah.
It had some bars up in there, and he was like climbing like a monkey across the like almost like the rafters of the tree thing. And all right in front of us, within minutes of it being open.
That's why they call it a playground.
Yeah. So that was interesting, but
Hey, I think as a board, we would like to congratulate you on a job well done on that.
oh,
Yes.
thanks.
Here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fabulous.
So we still got the trail to connect to it and the fence and to put the flagpole up, but after that we'll be done. So
It's
minor things. So.
very, very
Excellent
nice.
job on the
Yep.
weather.
Yeah, playground turned out nice. It's big. It's detailed. It's nature themed. Colors were good. I had prior to the ribbon cutting, I had someone, I can't remember who it was though, not associated with this board, if I remember correctly, say that they liked the color scheme and everything. So it was good.
It's very natural.
Cole Miller roof update. There is one. Right before this meeting, I realized I misread his email that he had sent me. On Monday, he sent me an email that said, "There's a job, or your job's next, or we have a job." I misread the email, thinking our job was starting on Tuesday. Or we have a job starting tomorrow, and I thought he meant our job is starting tomorrow, but he had another job in front of us that started on Tuesday. So he thinks next week he'll be out to put on the roof. So we're
And who is that?
Shingle Tech.
Okay.
So we're moving along there. I was going to give you a brief update on programs. So Camp Washington filled up today. When I say fill, that's our max is 100 kids. Which, in fact, we haven't really been at 100 kids, I don't think, since I've been here. I think my first year we had like 90, 89 or 90. And then last year we had like 59 because we reduced the number because of COVID. And then so this year we made our max 100 again. And so we hit it today. And so now we're putting people on wait lists and looking at maybe hiring another instructor or a counselor to accommodate some kids, so that's good.
So are you fully staffed currently?
We are, but if we want to take on some extra kids, then
Right.
we'll need to hire another camp counselor. So she's preparing for that, and we'll see how it goes. And then swim lessons is coming along. We have two age groups that are completely full already and one that's almost full. So that's good. And then Easter egg hunt, which was last Saturday, was a success. Some of you guys
Absolutely.
probably helped
Yeah.
with that.
Absolutely.
We had approximately about 200 people there,
Wow,
which was good.
3,000 eggs. Good
Yeah.
job.
And there were some nice comments on Facebook about the event. Someone had messaged us privately and said it was a nice event, and she could tell that a lot of thought was put into it. And so I shared that with Robin, and I thanked the lady for saying that, because not often that we get compliments where someone takes the time to send us a private message with a compliment. It's usually a private message that it's a complaint or something's wrong or something's vandalized or whatnot. So it was good. Arbor Day is coming up on April 23rd. I believe there was a flyer in your packet for that. And that'll be at Crestview Water Tower Park there. We're trying to promote that park a little more, doing some cleanup work up there. Urban Forestry did a cleanup day up there recently. I have a Boy Scout that's looking into putting a bench up there. He's still in the beginning stages of that. And then we put flyers, these Arbor Day flyers. Robin went around and put, like, I think I gave her 50 flyers to put out on some of the put them on the doors, the homeowners' doors there that are close to the park. And just so they can come over and kind of see what we're doing. And I kind of want to educate the homeowners there that it's a little different than what it was before. In the past, we just mowed it, and I never really considered it a park, even though we took care of it. Urban Forestry did a tree planting there in 2009. I was always under the impression that, they could city could sell the property, and they still could, but with it being water department property, or with the water tower there, that the water department could kind of do whatever they wanted with it. But now that we have the agreement in place that it's a park, I feel more comfortable putting in a park bench there and inviting people over there and having the homeowners think that it's an actual park instead of just a piece of property that the city owns or mows.
Excuse me, Wayne, on that park bench from the Scouts, because he came to our post meeting the other night. He never
good.
mentioned anything about a concrete slab. Is that going to be on a slab of some kind?
Yes. He didn't mention it, or he did?
He talked about the construction of the bench,
But not a concrete slab?
No, he said there was going to be concrete, but he didn't say a slab.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if that was going to
Yeah.
be part of the bench or what.
Yeah, his dad had some connections, and so they were supposed to be looking into that.
Okay,
Yeah, that's the plan.
all right.
And that's pretty much it for programs. Ronzik turf field update. Turf is here. It's sitting in the parking lot. They were supposed to be working on it today, but the weather, they could have been out there this morning, but I doubt it. Hopefully they'll be there tomorrow and Friday. My guys have been pouring concrete up there. They poured some yesterday. Obviously, they did not today. But they're at a good point where the turf crew can come in and start working on the bullpens, which I think is the plan, is to start working on those, putting the turf on the pitcher mound and the home plate area of the bullpens. And then we'll go, then we can kind of transition over to the visitor side and pour that bullpen over there.
They were grading on that today.
Oh, they were today, okay. I made it out there, but it was pouring down rain when I was out there. There was no one to be found. Lake pavilions are up, and they have 10 on the roof. And so I'm going to begin the process of, I think we probably need to finish our concrete sidewalk work there. We have some to put in yet for the barbecue pit and the water fountain, and then sidewalk around the perimeter of the pavilion. Once we get that in, then I can bid out the rock columns. I'm going to start that process, the bid document and all that stuff now, and find out whoever wins it, find out what their schedule is and everything like that. But that's the process. We'll get the concrete, our sidewalks in between pouring concrete at Ronzik. And then we'll talk about another project here in new business that my staff's going to have a part of too that involves concrete. So that just popped up. But and then I wanted to make you guys aware, this is the last thing on my report, the city received the Tree City USA Award again this year. That's the 17th consecutive year, which is a pretty big deal. Josh fills out a lot of reports for that, takes in trees planted, trees removed, trees pruned, trees treated for disease, all that stuff, in order for us to, win this award every year. And then once we receive that recognition, there's other benefits that go along with it. Like when we apply for the trim grant through Missouri Department of Conservation for the First Parkway right-of-way trees up at First Parkway, we receive an additional, I think it's 15%, that we can apply for because we're a Tree City USA city. And Washington was the first one in the county 17 years ago that became one. Since, I think Union is a Tree City USA and maybe Sullivan too. So anyways, just want to make you aware of that. It kind of goes under the radar, but it is a good thing. That's it for...
You made mention of Josh doing reports on tree disease treatment. Is there an ongoing process of treating for emerald ash currently, or is it kind of hit or miss? Craig's tree service treats two trees out at the lake off of Veterans Grand Avenue, kind of in between kind of on both sides of the swing set out there. Two big ash trees there. And then I budget, it's approximately $3,000 every year, and that treats about 10 trees. And I believe we're on a rotating cycle, so we can do like 10 trees one year, and then the next year we can do another 10 trees, but then the following year we have to go back and retreat the first 10 trees that we did. So yes, that is something we started either last year or year before, but since I've been here. I knew Craig had donated some treatment of them several years ago, and then I just, because it's a pretty serious issue.
And on that note, on Friday, Craig is going to donate some of his services and do a treatment, this is more on the health, kind of the same thing, but more on the tree health, taking care of the trees you have, existing trees. He's going to do a tree on each side of the main stage or amphitheater out there. He's going to treat those, and I think the paper's coming out for that to get some pictures and do a small article on that. And then fertilize the ginkgo trees, the street trees we have here on Jefferson. He's going to fertilize those, and that's all just a donation on his part, which is fabulous. So that's it for Parks Report.
Okay, and communication from the audience? No? Okay, we'll go on to old business. The Washington Soccer Association soccer field lease.
I think I sent everyone an email, or this group an email. It passed City Council, and so we are now into the lease. We did receive the $5,000 deposit. We have the proper insurance and everything like that. So that Tuesday after the council meeting, they had their subcontractor was mowing the fields up there. So there's a few small things that we're still trying, paperwork and things like that. I'm getting together and trying to collaborate with her on, like we still got to figure out the storage container, and they have to learn, once we get it up and running, de-winterize it, the irrigation system and things like that. So so far, I haven't heard from them, so that's a good thing.
Wayne, does their liability insurance also cover the parents and other people in the audience, or just the players in the field and the board?
That I'm not sure. I'd have to check. I did run the insurance document by our lawyer.
Just the players. I mean,
I would think it's the field. Well, why would it cover the parents? I mean, if a
It's
bleacher,
liability. If somebody falls and twists their ankle, that's liability.
well, then I would think to that degree, if it's the city, if the property's not taken care of,
No, 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 no. You know, you can be walking across a parking lot and hit a curb or a bumper curb,
Yeah.
slip and fall and hurt
Well,
yourself.
that would fall, because the parking lot's under our domain still.
Yes,
That
so
would-
that's
that would-
under-
That's a bad example.
yeah. No, the thing I would think would be bleachers,
Yeah,
if there was
Yeah.
problems with the bleachers, maybe.
I would imagine.
I would imagine we'd have liability.
Right, well,
Yes.
not only that, but the parents on the younger divisions, they're out there in the field. Okay, so
Oh.
if they step in a hole or something like that, what I'm trying to do is to protect the city from having to fall, you know.
Well, I'm sure the city has liability insurance
Yeah.
on their property, and then, so that's a separate entity, I would assume, but then they have then the soccer association would have liability on what they're using, and probably followed up by what the city has. So I'm sure
Yeah.
there's plenty, I mean, I don't know that, but I'm just assuming that the city has to have liability insurance on all their properties.
Yeah.
People would take personal responsibility.
Then,
Right, I guess
Realize it.
that's what I'm
let me
thinking.
follow up with a question. Does the city then have a copy of their insurance?
Yes.
They do, okay.
And the
Wouldn't
lawyers,
they be responsible for their own field since they're leasing it? And they're responsible for taking care of the whole field and the grading and everything? If there's something,
There's a whole.
Yeah,
you know,
there's-
I mean,
listing of
you can go in all
insurance
kinds of stuff
liabilities
with that.
In the concrete,
That's
in
my
the
concern.
contract.
yeah, and the lawyers looked at it, and he said everything's up to
Okay.
par, so should be good there. And then pool visit discount and expiration, I took the letter, they didn't have to approve it, but I just made council aware of it. They were good with it. They thought it was a good idea, so we're moving on with that, so.
Yeah, we just need to, like last night, there was a couple people there. Maybe the newspaper can run a little article for us too on that, about that they can buy these discount cards till May 31st, and they're good for 2 years, not just 1 year, because one lady was confused by that, and we should try to advertise it as much as possible, so that people know about it.
Yes. Yeah, we have it out on Facebook, but yeah, a little blurb in the paper would be good.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of good feedback about that.
Oh, good.
And the card and the discount and the expiration, so.
Yeah, for the 2 years, it's a good deal.
Right.
Okay, any other questions? Under new business, we've talked about Arbor Day. Now, there isn't a flyer in my packet, but it does start at 10 a.m., is that right?
Yes, 10
Okay.
a.m.
Okay.
Did I email it out?
Well, I've seen it on, yeah, I saw it
Okay.
somewhere, but anyway, I just want
Yes,
to make
10
sure.
a.m. I'd encourage you guys to come out if you can. I unfortunately won't be there. Unlike last year, I did check my calendar. Last year, I think I had a baseball tournament. My son had a baseball tournament. This year, I checked my calendar and ahead of time when Josh said, when should we do this? And I had nothing on it. However, my son at his school is involved with the robotics program, and they won state. And so now they're going to World Championship, which is in Houston, Texas, that week. Well, it starts Wednesday, so I'll be gone for a few days.
Good
But like
job.
Wednesday through, I'll be back Sunday, so I will miss it again this year, unfortunately. But Josh and Josh will take good care of you guys if you show up, so. Next is, this is the new project that I alluded to earlier, and you do have an exhibit in your packet. It's the last one. So I've had some complaints, and maybe even some of you all have mentioned it to me. On the lake dam, there were some pretty wide cracks in the asphalt, and we did try last year. We did try to fill them, street department tried to fill them, and it worked for like a day or two, and then it just fell through. And so the city, because the fair had such a good year per the fair contract with the city, there was some money that came back to the city. And then the city administrator is trying to find uses for that money that, helps out the fair. And so this would be one of the ways. that normally I would have to budget for this, and actually this would be in my budget for this coming fiscal year in '23. I wanted to redo the trails around Lions Lake, the asphalt, and John, the Public Works Director, actually, when he put a different exhibit together, he had this dam in concrete already. And so it was his idea. He said, this money's available. We talked it through with admin, because this is a direct route for fairgoers that park at the soccer area or anywhere, the YMCA, they kind of come this route, walk across there to get to the fair. I talked to JB, chamber president. She didn't have to approve it. I just ran the idea by her. She thought it would be a great idea because she's like, yeah, you're right. A ton of people come through there. So it does help the city with ADA, some of their ADA requirements and things like that. So there's multiple benefits that come out of this. And so the plan is then next week, weather permitting, parks / city / possibly street department. City staff will be ripping out the old existing asphalt and then re-rocking it. And then the following week, April 25th, the contractor who's already doing some work in town will come in and concrete this section that you see. So it'll be good. Hopefully we won't have big cracks in it anymore. It'll be much more sound and sturdy.
Is that the same contractor that's doing 4th Street here, do you think?
I don't know. I don't think so. This contractor is KJU.
Oh, okay.
And I think this one over here is a different one, I think. So, but anyways, any questions on that? And so next year and next fiscal year, then I'll budget to just do the asphalt around Lions Lake instead of trying to do both the concrete section and the asphalt. So
That will just be an overlay?
yes. And this red portion here is approximately, I think if I remember right, it was the concrete bid was a little less than 32,000, so 31 something. So it's not cheap, but. Next on new business, Lakeview Trails and Phoenix Park Playground, or paving project. If you were at the ribbon cutting, I kind of explained some of that to you all then. And I've talked about it at other meetings. I finally realized I should throw the exhibit in here. And so you'll see that first exhibit, the yellow, is everything that will be paved at Lakeview. And then the following page is the Phoenix portion that I was telling some of you guys about last night, the entryway there by tennis courts, those 2 courts, and then the small section of trail down there by the new playground. And so that, weather depending, he wouldn't give me a definite date, but because of baseball starting in May at Lakeview, we both agreed that it should be done in April. So we'll see if Mother Nature helps us out any and works with us on that schedule. So, but sooner rather than later is what we're shooting for on that. So there could be sometimes where the Lakeview trails are closed up there, and we'll try to make sure we publicize that as best we can. And I've already warned soccer, so she knows about it. She actually I sent her the exhibit, so she knew exactly what they were planning on paving. And that, again, that lower portion, I think I mentioned that last time, that runs down by the shop and around Soccer Field 1. That'll be paved at a later time, possibly next year if the funding's available. But we're still hauling fill dirt up the hill below and putting it below Soccer Field 3 there in what was considered the old tree nursery. And we don't want to pave it and have the dump trucks tear it up, so we'll just wait until we're done, and we think that'll be filled probably later this year. We'll be done hauling up there. So, and then finally, this has been a long time coming. It's not a document that I could just recreate or steal from someone else. Is the Highway 100 medians landscaping bed maintenance services went out to bid this week. And I believe it's due back here, the bids are due April 19th, I believe is the date. And so that would be taking care of the 4 medians on Highway 100 that my crew currently takes care of throughout the year. And so that would include mulching in the spring, pre-emergent, and then spraying, weeding, picking up trash, and then mulching and cutting everything back and mulching in the fall, getting it ready for the holidays, and then periodically weed control. Also includes however they want to do it. Some contractors may have their own equipment, others may have to rent it. Close all the lane closure equipment that would be needed to close down the lanes out there that we currently have, but someone else, there are companies that supply that service, the lane closure service, so they either can buy their own supplies to do it, or they can subcontract it out through a service. And then it would also include whoever wins the bid applying for the MoDOT lane closure permit on behalf of that company. So, any questions on that? And to get rid of this or to contract it out would save us a ton of time.
So I know that in the past, some of the plants have been removed to kind of thin it out, and would this company also be doing that as well?
They would be, we didn't put that in there. There's a funding source for this, but it's not unlimited, so I had to kind of pick and choose what we thought would be covered under the allotted amount of money that we have.
Okay.
And if, this would be for a 5-year contract, and for this first 5 years, my goal is just to get it looking nice and presentable year-round. And so we'll kind of see where we can go from it. If all we have to do out there is go out there every once in a while and thin out some plants, I would be happy. I'd take that any day.
Any day. Okay.
So.
Any questions?
I would just like to see more color out there myself. I mean, last year we had a couple of locust trees growing out there and they weren't too attractive.
Yeah,
One
that's
guy put some-
one of the things that hopefully the contractor can stay on top of.
I know one
There was
guy
more than one out there.
put Christmas lights on that one last year, come up close to doing that. And he had some that worked off batteries and he said, I'm gonna take them out there and put them on that tree. I said, you go ahead. So,
You know what that reminds me of? It has nothing to do with the Parks Department, but have you seen the Japanese, Chinese restaurant sign that has been out there for, I don't know,
Yeah.
30 years? And somebody put a skeleton there hanging on with the big sign. I'm still waiting. I mean, that's what that reminds me of. I think that's hysterical.
Yeah, I mean, we sprayed it last year, but I mean, it depends. Josh was out there actually the other day spraying, and it got too windy. He said he was spraying it one time, and the wind gusted, and
Right.
the spray went like straight up in the air, so he just shut it down. It's a lot to do. To set up those lane closures takes time and everything, and we have a lot of other things that we need to be doing, so I hope this works out.
I hope this works.
Got an estimate of what that bid will come in at?
Hoping under 30,000. So,
Per year or all 5?
no, per year.
and that would save us, do you have an estimate of what that would save us as far as our men working out there?
I have some, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I did do I did figure that up hour-wise, how many hours, because we had to figure it up for budget-wise. We had to kind of come up with the number of man-hours that we use, and then we had to try to figure out how much money we needed to put in the budget to kind of cover that. So I do have some of that. I can, we'll see what we get back. We'll see what the bids come back at, and then I can maybe do a report on that for you guys and let you know.
Okay, any other questions, concerns from the board tonight? Anything anybody wants to bring up? Okay, hearing none, our next meeting will be May 11th, and I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion by Bob and a second by Betty. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you.
That was a quick one tonight.
Good deal.
Record time on this.
We don't have a lot to talk about tonight.
No, it's okay.
It's okay. Quiet night.